I understand, Your Worship, English.
Because you understand English, and English is the language of court, we shall read the charge sheet and the content therein in English, and we shall ask you to read to the said charges. But before I proceed to read the charges, may I ask you to confirm whether this could be the correct description of your particulars. It is alleged by a team of chief state attorneys and a senior state attorney on behalf of the prosecution that you are called Honorable Amos Lugoloobi. You are a male adult Ugandan, and you are a Minister of State for Finance, Planning and Economic Development. You are also a Member of Parliament, Mtenjeru North constituency in Kayunga district. You are a resident of Chizungu zone, Makindye in Kampala district. Could that be the correct description of your particulars?
Your Worship, it is the correct description.
Okay. So, Honorable, before me is a charge sheet which contains 2 counts. And all these counts are to do with dealing with suspect property contrary to Section 21A of the Anti-Corruption Act as amended. With specific reference to count number 1, the particulars of the offense are that you, Honorable Amos Lugoloobi, between the 14th day of July 2022 and 28th February 2023 at 0 p.m. stores, Namanve in Mukono district, and at different places in Matuga, Wakiso district, and in Tenjeru North in Kayunga district. You dealt with government property, to wit, 400 pre-painted iron sheets marked Office of the Prime Minister, having reason to believe that the said iron sheets were acquired as a result of loss of public property, an offense under Section 10, subsection 1 of the Anti-Corruption Act. Honorable, have you heard?
Your Worship, I have heard.
Have you understood the charge and the particulars of the charge under count 1 that are levied against you by the prosecution?
Your Worship, I would appreciate if it's read again.
Yes, it is my duty, and I'm paid by this country to do that. That's why I have to confirm. I want to repeat. You stand charged with the offense of dealing with suspect property contrary to Section 21A of the Anti-Corruption Act as amended. The particulars of the offense are that you, Honorable Amos Lugoloobi, between the 14th day of July 2022 and 28th February 2023 at Office of the Prime Minister's stores, Namanve, in Mukono district, and in different places in Matuga, Wakiso district, Tenjeru North constituency in Kayunga district. You dealt with government property, to wit 400 pre-painted iron sheets marked Office of the Prime Minister, having reason to believe that the said iron sheets were acquired as a result of loss of public property, an offense under Section 10, subsection 1 of the Anti-Corruption Act of 2009 as amended. Have you heard?
Your Worship, I have heard.
Have you understood?
I have understood, Your Worship.
So what do you have to say as an answer to these allegations that are made against your name?
Your worship, not guilty.
A plea of not guilty is entered against the accused person, none other than Honorable Amos Lugoloobi, in respect of count number 1. Count number 2, you stand charged under the same law, which is dealing with suspect property, contrary to Section 21A of the Anti-Corruption Act as amended. The particulars of the offense are that you, Honorable Amos Lugoloobi, between the first day of February 2023 and the 16th day of March 2023 at OPM Stores Namanve in Wakiso District and at different places in Matuga, Wakiso District, and in Ntenjeru Constituency, Kayunga District, you dealt with suspect property, to wit 300 pre-painted iron sheets marked Office of the Prime Minister, having reason to believe that the said iron sheets were acquired as a result of loss of public property, an offense under Section 10, subsection 1 of the Anti-Corruption Act. Have you heard?
Your worship, well heard.
Have you understood?
Your worship, I have understood.
What do you have to say as an answer to these allegations?
Your worship, not guilty.
So a plea of not guilty is entered against you in respect of count number 2.
Your worship, inquiries in this matter are not yet complete. The prosecution therefore humbly prays that this matter is returned.
Pardon, State?
Inquiries in this matter are continuing, Your worship. We therefore pray for an adjournment of this case.
If it pleases you, Your worship,
Yes.
my name is John Isario. As I indicated, I'm appearing jointly with my colleague, Mr. Mkunde.
Who is Counsel Tumukun? Okay.
Your worship, we do appear for the accused person. Your worship, we have instructions from the accused person to apply for bail. worship, as you realize, my colleagues have just indicated that they are not ready. And they are seeking an adjournment. The worship will also realize that in the application of adjournment, they have not indicated how much time they need to be ready. Your worship, in the meantime, the accused person is the applicant. Was picked up on Friday last week. And your worship, he has since been incarcerated in the police cells until today. Your worship, the accused person, who is the applicant, is the honorable member. Worship is also a minister in this government. Your worship, this place of abode is clearly stated in the charge sheet. But nonetheless, Your worship, we have gathered to deliver to the court an LC letter.
Where is that?
Your worship, I'm going to deliver the original report. I just needed to give the particulars.
And you are talking in the past tense. You have managed to deliver when we have not received.
Actually, we made this morning when we sent the letter to the people, so send a copy to the court.
We only have this. We have this only one plain letter, the notice of instruction.
We can have the original delivery.
Yes, you are submitting. You have managed to deliver. Yes, finally you have delivered. Good. Thank you.
I have finally delivered.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
The LC letter, Your Worship, which clearly indicates that the accused person is a resident of Makindi and he has been introduced to the court by the LC, chairperson of the area. Your Worship, we have also there on that those documents before you, we have a photocopy of the certificate of title for his home, which is comprised in block 261, plot 730,
Comprised where?
block 261, plot 730, land at Lukuli in Makindi division. Your Worship, we wish to give the court the duplicate certificate of title for the home of the applicant. Your Worship, we also made a search for the court confirm that to date, that property is still in the names of the account. Your Worship, to that extent, it's our humble prayer that you find that the place of abode of the accused person is duly approved. Your Lordship, there is judicial notice about him being a member of Parliament and him being a minister. So his place of employment is also clear to know. Your Worship, if with your leave, allow us to introduce the sureties. Your Worship, we have a number of sureties who are substantial.
Proceed.
Your Worship, we allow me to introduce the first surety. Your Worship, the first surety is the Honorable Aigaga Mariam. Your Worship, she's aged 44 years. She's a resident of Kauku village. In Makindye division. Your Worship, she is the district woman representative for Namatumba district. Your Worship, we have a national ID, and her work ID as a member of Parliament. Your Worship, we have also attached for the purpose of court bank statement, which is duly certified by the bank. Your Worship, her telephone contact is
07. Yes.
125.
Pardon?
125.
125.
06.
06.
0754. 317. 248.
Your Worship, the Honorable Mario Nega has been a friend to the applicant for over 10 years. her duties. I have explained to her the duties of a surety, and she perfectly seems to understand that she must ensure that the applicant appears in court whenever it is required. Your Worship, it's my humble prayer that you find the Honorable Marian Mary satisfactory. Your Worship, also allow me to produce to the court the national ID, the ID for Member of Parliament, and the ID for the applicant as a minister, and his passport for the inspection in court. The original.
Yes.
Your Worship, with your leave, allow me to introduce the second surety, the Honorable James Kakoza. Your Worship, the Honorable James Kakoza is aged 61 years. Is a resident of Kizungu in Makinde Division. Your Worship, is a member of the East African Community Legislative Assembly. And a former State Minister for Health.
Former State Minister for what?
For Health, Your Worship. Your Worship, Honorable Kakoza has been introduced to you by the LC, Elizabeth, where he resides. Your Worship, we also have particulars of where he stays, certificate of title, comprised in block 90, plot 464,
Block what?
block 90, plot 464.
460 what?
464 Your Worship.
Can we always have a copy before?
Land comprises land at Katalema. Your Worship, we also have a copy of the birth certificate, and also a copy of the statement, bank statement. Worship, you have forwarded the original national ID and the ID, work ID.
72 4972
Can you repeat? Kindly repeat.
0772
Yes.
49
49
72
72
61.
61.
Your Worship, I've explained the duties of surety to the Honorable and since I've understood that we must ensure that the applicant appears in court by his law. We humbly pray, Your Worship, that you find him to the Your Worship, the next surety will be leave. Is the Honorable Dr. Kefat Wanka. The Honorable Kefat Wanka is aged 64 years. Your Worship, he is the president. He's a resident of
Resident of?
He's a resident of Zubuka, Godiozi LC1, Kabungutaba, in Makinda.
Can you repeat the place or is share the original documents? Eh?
Your Worship, the original documents are with you.
You are saying is a resident of?
Zubuka, Godiozi LC1, Kabungutaba what? Makinda division. Your Worship is also a honorable member of Parliament, the Chibogatist in Chibogatist. Your Worship, we have provided the report, his original national ID and his work ID. The Honorable Dr. Kefat Wanka is a very close friend to the applicant for over 10 years. Your Worship, among the documents that we provided to the court include his bank statement, also the certificate of title for his home, copy of the certificate of title for his home, which is block 249, lot 2367, land at Bunga. Your Worship, we want to forward your duplicate certificate of title for your inspection.
772 350
Pardon, please. 0.
772
Yes.
350 352.
Okay. Any alternative line?
No, sir.
Okay.
Worship, we pray that you find substantial. As we explained to you, use those as a surety. Your Worship, the next surety is Mr. Paul Mugamba Sempa.
Call.
Paul Mugamba Sempa. Your Worship, Mr. Paul Mugamba Sempa is a very close friend, African. In fact, Your Worship, he was his best man on the 4th of December 1990, after a very long friendship, Your Worship.
Best man when?
4th December 1990, Your Worship, when the Honorable Amos was ready his farewell. Your Worship, the Honorable Mugamba is aged 82 years. He's a resident of Upper Mawanga Zone.
Resident of where?
Upper Mawanga Zone, Usika Parish, Martin Division. We have already forwarded his documents to the court. Your Worship, Mr. Charles Paul Mugamba is a former ambassador of Uganda to Brazil. Is currently engaged in real estate business. His telephone contact, Your Worship, is 0772
07.
72
Yes.
543
543
160.
160. Okay.
Your Worship, I've explained to him his duties and seems to have understood. Your Worship, we pray that you find Mr. Mugamba substantial. Your Worship, we also have to attach his bank statement. Your Worship, the next surety is Mr. Martin Sekaja, sorry. Sekaja. Your Worship, his age is 39 years and a resident of Nazareth Zone.
Is aged how old?
39, Your Worship. A resident of Nazareth Zone, Chanja Parish, Nakawa Division. Worship is the head of operations at Uganda Security Printing Company and a business associate of the applicant. Worship, we have sent to the court the documents introducing him and the Worship will have a copy, the duplicate certificate of title where he stays. Also attached documents, his appointment, his residence, his work ID, and bank statement. His telephone contact, Your Worship, is 0782
07.
82
Yes.
10 95 19. Your Worship, I have explained to him his duties and he understood. Your Worship, lastly, we have Mr. Joseph.
Joseph.
Your Worship.
Can we have his documents?
Your Worship, Mr. Joseph Mugwala, like the CPO from the National Planning Authority. Your Worship, we have presented his staff ID. Staff ID, Your Worship. And his bank statement. Your Worship, we have also sent to the court the duplicate certificate of title of his residence in Congo. Your Worship, Mr. Mugwala is also the Prime Minister of the 9th Solar Kingdom. Your Worship, Mr. Mugwala is a very close friend to your people. Mr. Mugwala's telephone contact is
0772 40 35.
Your Worship, I have explained to you his duties. Your Worship, Mr. Mugwala is aware that he should ensure the attendance of the accused whenever it's required. Your Worship, I pray that you find Mr. Mugwala substantial. Your Worship, and very lastly is Mr. Kalisa Kalango Moses. Your Worship, Mr. Kalisa Kalango Moses is head 53 years. 53 years. Your Worship, we have forwarded to the court the particulars. They have been introduced by the LC, who have sent copy. And also the duplicate certificate of title for his residence. Your Worship, we also wish to forward the bank statement for his company, Unis UN Oil Limited. Your Worship, Mr. Karamba is a close friend to the applicant. For over 10 years, and a senior businessman in Kayunga, and chairman movement Kayunga District. Your Worship, it's my humble prayer that you find his cell phone number, Your Worship, is 0772 546 103 0752 92 74 69. Worship, it's a humble prayer that you find all the sureties presented substantial. Worship, I wish my colleague to address you on the health condition of the applicant.
Is my name. The Worship, those medical reports that are forwarded to you of the accused. The first report I forward to you, Your Worship, is from Uganda Heart Institute. Dated 12 April 2023. Authored by the Executive Director, Dr. Omagino Opo John. Your Worship, this report succinctly tells this court that the accused is hypertensive, suffering from type 2 diabetes and coronary artery disease. And Your Worship, the report tells you that he is fresh from a heart surgery as of 14th July 2022. It's not yet even a year. So Your Worship, as you look at the accused, is a capable patient. Anytime he can be admitted by the Uganda Heart Institute. Your Worship, on that report is attached another one from the Aga Khan University Hospital, dated 14th April 2023. This also confirms
It is dated when?
14th April 2023. It's just behind the report of Uganda Institute.
Oh, yes.
Your Worship, I will place my emphasis on paragraph 2, which proves to this honorable court the sicknesses that the accused is suffering from. That is type to the diabetes mellitus. And also paragraph 3 shows hypertension, dyslipidemia, and prophylaxis. In this report, Your Worship, they have described the plethora of drugs that he has to take. Your Worship, in fact, when he was arrested, he was fresh from hospital. So he was driven with a package of over 20 types of drugs from his physician. Worship, I thought it wise. Some people might speak, but let's prove to this honorable court that he has been taking his medicines, Your Worship. There's a lot of medicines, and most of them, as we shall see from the police doctor, are for the heart surgery. Your Worship, on 15th April 2023, Superintendent of Police Dr. Mukwezi Julius authored a report while attending to the accused person in cells for 2 days. Your Worship, with you have two reports, 15th and 16th of April. These are the days that he has been attending to him. In his findings, the police doctor states and corroborates the diseases of the previous doctors that he accused is a patient of hypertension, diabetes, asthma, diagnosed for more than 15 years ago, and well controlled. And he confirms that this medicine, before Your Worship, was found with him during his time of incarceration. But paragraph 2 is for emphasis to this court, Your Worship, and should be held sacrosanct. He underwent a successful heart surgery in 2022 at Mulago Hospital to resolve a blood clot in the heart. He is still under strict medication, which the police doctor says which we should support him to take while he's still under our custody. report has a clause for important to note. All kinds of drugs must be taken away from the suspect. We have to avoid situations where a suspect suffers complications or death due to drug overdose or misuse. That is in the clause of important to note on page 3, Your Worship. Because he was in police custody, he cannot easily access what his physicians and doctors have clearly prescribed for him to access. Your Worship, with the presumption of innocence, and with such an accused person before you, who has medical reports as to his sicknesses, if court releases him temporarily on bail, he will be given a chance to freely take his medicine as prescribed by the doctors. The report of yesterday when the doctor attended to our client, in the last paragraph.
That is the one of 16?
Yes, Your Worship. 16. On page 4 in the last paragraph. The whole report speaks about how the doctors gone through at times to attend to this for the 2 days. But he summarizes by saying, we again encouraged him purposely drink more water and cooperate in adhering to his medication on time. We shall monitor him through the night, and in case he deteriorates, we shall consider transferring him to Aga Khan University Hospital. This is not only a hardship to the accused, but a hardship to government. That such an accused person, government has to spend a lot of money if he's put in prisons, purposely for one doctor to attend to him because of his health condition. Worship, with these medical reports, not only from his physicians, but also from the Senior Superintendent of Police, the Directorate of Police Health Services, we pray that this court gives our client a chance, one, to freely take his medication because of his negligible health life. Two, to give chance to government not to spend a lot on giving a doctor just to be there for one person. But lastly, my Lord, your worship, is that this court wants the accused alive to have a defense. So pray that on that ground, which is an important ground under your case management rules, specifically Rule 7, be entertained and temporarily set the accused free on bail. Your worship, I wish also to submit Worship, I wish also to submit that the accused is a member of parliament, a minister, father, and a parent at large. He has not responsibilities only to his family, but responsibilities to a crucial ministry in this country and to his constituents, Your Worship. If therefore sent to the gallows and gutters of prison, will adversely affect his family, constituents, and the ministry. With those few grounds, Your Honor, we pray that you be so pleased to grant the accused person bail on his presumption of innocence, which is a cornerstone of the rule of law, much of life.
The estate.
Your Worship, in response to the bail application made by the applicant, I wish to address this court that we oppose the bail application in the following grounds. Your Worship, the Defense Counsel has alluded to the length of time it will be required to conclude investigations in this matter. I wish to inform this honorable court that the inquiries that need to be taken to ensure that the case is ready for trial can be done within a week or two. So, to allay his fears, this will be done in a very short time. And indeed, the applicant is an honorable member of parliament, an honorable minister of this mighty state. And that's why it is our contention that once he's released immediately, there is a high likelihood of him interfering with the remaining inquiries because he has the influence and capacity to do so. Your Worship, Section 77 of the MCA, of the Magistrates Court Act, subsection 2E, is to the effect that where it is apparent that the accused person may interfere with investigations, court can use its discretion not to grant bail to the accused person.
Court can do what?
Can use its discretion not to grant the bail application. Your Worship, the Defense Counsel has, his application relied upon very many documents, medical documents, and titles, some of which have not been shared with the prosecution. Bank statements and all manner of documents. Worship, we humbly pray that this honorable court may be kind to give us sufficient time of about a day or two to verify these documents. Interestingly, some of the land titles have indications that there are encumbrances on their pages. Yet they have letters purported to have cleared them to be free of any encumbrances. Such discrepancies, therefore, Worship, require the prosecution to have an independent verification. Worship, the dossier of documents I'm referring to is here for everyone to see, including other documents which we have just received at the bar. No documents from, for example, no documents from Mr. Kalisa Alanga Moses have been availed to the prosecution. Your Worship, we are also concerned with the surety number 2 who has been presented by the defense. That is Honorable Kakoza. James. Your Worship, I draw your attention to Rule 7A of the High Court Anti-Corruption Division Case Management Rules 2021. Which guides this honorable court that in such instances of bail applications, the court shall, before considering any person to stand as a surety for any accused person, determine that the person has the capacity to influence and compel the accused person to take control. Your Worship, the submission by defense counsel is that the second surety, Honorable James Kakoza, and I'm inclined to believe that it is true, is the honorable member of the East African Legislative Assembly, who sits in Tanzania. The prosecution is therefore why but such a very busy international legislator may not find it easy to follow the schedule that is provided by this court. If indeed the Honorable Member of Parliament is to discharge his duty, in ensuring that his friend, the accused person, applicant now, religiously attends court to dispose of this matter. We therefore humbly pray that this Honorable Court, basing on the reasons given by the prosecution, exercises its discretion not to grant the applicant bail. Your Worship, the Defense Counsel attempted to persuade this Honorable Court that the applicant is in very bad health. Your Worship, you have interacted with this person since you came in here. He has himself stated that he's really feeling okay. This one. Referring to the documentation provided by the defense, specifically the document obtained from the medical officer of the Directorate of Police Health Services, page 4. The last sentence of the first paragraph. It is categorically stated that even though the applicant's blood sugar levels were at 12.6 milliliters, he was no longer in a life-threatening condition. Suffice to note that the medication, which I'm worried defense counsel may mishandle by displaying it in this way, are available to the applicant even when he's in custody. Indeed, the Uganda police force was able to handle his condition perfect. I have no worries that the Uganda prisons forces will fail. The heart surgery referred to in all these documents happened almost a year ago. therefore pray that this honorable court is not dissuaded by these barricade medical documents. We wish him a very quick recovery in this situation, but we believe that he will be fine wherever this honorable court decides that he should be. Your Worship, we will therefore reiterate our early prayers and pray that this court denies this bail application. However, should this honorable court exercise its discretion by granting bail, we pray that stringent conditions are given to the accused person, applicant, and his sureties. Or the ones that this court may require him to produce the event that the ones presented are not found substantial. We so pray, Your Worship.
Your Worship, we wish to make
Please do.
Your Worship, we have listened to judgments in my landlord, Mr. Biden. And it suffices to state, Your Worship, that those passionate submissions be very good for case of bail pending appeal. But for an application of this nature, Your Worship, where the applicant is still presumed innocent, it's our humble view that those submissions are misaddressed. Your Worship, this court has the discretion to grant bail Your Worship, it's our view that that discretion should be exercised judicially. My colleague has indicated that in respect to the time we require, indicated that they need 1 or 2 weeks. Your Worship, by that very submission, my colleague is not sure when the investigations will be concluded. Indeed so, Your Worship, because my colleague is not the investigator. It's barely Mr. Kato in this matter. Your Worship, he actually alluded to the fact that our client may interfere with investigations. Your Worship, it's now a settled position that where such an allegation is made, it must be on the basis of evidence. And the normal procedure, Your Worship, which my colleague knows because we litigated with him here for over 15 years. Your Worship, the procedure is that an affidavit must be sworn by the investigating officer, giving ground upon which that belief that the applicant is going to interfere is premised. Otherwise, Your Worship, a mere blanket allegation from the bar can at most be ignored by this court because it's devoid of the evidence. There is no such affidavit upon which that accusation is premised. But my colleague has also indicated that we have sent a lot of documents, and some of them that they didn't have sufficient time to verify them. First of all, Your Worship, we want to indicate that we served our colleagues with these documents well before. Your Worship, we have a copy on the record which indicates that we served these documents at 9:50. Your Worship, we also served a copy of the copy. That, Your Worship, should be analyzed from the point of view that the applicant was arrested on Friday evening. And therefore, there was no way we could have supplied those documents on Saturday or Sunday. At the earliest opportunity that we had, we supplied the documents. But that said, Your Worship, Your Worship, the documents that were presented before you must be taken at their face value. We have supplied the original documents. In respect to bank statements, we supplied certified copies, which under the best evidence rule, they are the best documents that we have supplied. Your Worship, the mighty state with my four colleagues here, if they find that any of those documents have a problem they cannot always apply to this court to have the bail cancelled. But that should not be a basis to deny bail just because they have a feeling that some of the documents are fraudulent. Which, in my view, Worship, the feeling has no basis. The Worship, with respect to the sureties, my colleague had issues with two sureties. That is Mr. Kalamba Kalisa Moses and the Honorable Moses James Kapos.
Pardon? On the names of sureties?
From the sureties that we presented, my colleague had issues with only two out of the 7. The state had issues with only 2. But even for those 2, Your Worship, for example, the Honorable James Kapos, his issue was that he's an East African, is an EALA MP, and therefore is not resident here. Worship, that is not true. His constituency is Uganda, and therefore he lives in his constituency. He may go to Arusha or Burundi, wherever they may go for a few days to have plenary, but that does not mean that he ceases being a resident of Uganda. The way you have these honorable MPs, for example, my sister, Honorable Naigaba from Namutumba, that she has given evidence that she stays here in Kampala, doesn't mean that she does not go to her constituency and stay there. And the duty is not that the Honorable Kapoza must be staying in the home of the applicant. The duty is to ensure he is attended, the applicant is attended. These .com times, ensuring attendance of the applicant may not even need a physical encounter between them. So, in my view, Worship, the objection against the Honorable Kapoza is misplaced. And it's our humble view that the court ignores. Worship, in respect to Mr. Kalisa Kalamba, Your Worship, we have indicated that he's a resident of Kayunga. We have also indicated that he's the chairperson NRM Kayunga. And Your Worship, in our view, that suffices. But even if it did not, Your Worship, this court has power to require that on the next attendance, further document that may be required by the prosecution should be furnished. But most importantly, the rest of the sureties, like I indicated, we had 7. The rest of the sureties, the 5, there was no mention of their lack of substantiality. And in our view, Your Worship, the 5 sureties are already too many, because their duty as sureties is handled jointly. So, Your Worship, in respect to capacity to have the applicant attend court, it's our humble view that each one of these sureties, first of all, individually has capacity, but even them collectively have capacity to ensure that he attends. But besides, Your Worship, The applicant is an honorable minister and the honorable member of parliament who has to discharge his duties in his office. Your Worship, for his kind of work, he can always be picked up anytime from his office in the event that he ever jumped bail. But Your Worship, there are no such antecedents of the accused, of the applicant. Because for such an allegation, there should be antecedents. But there is no such antecedents. In fact, Your Worship, it's unfortunate that the applicant was barely arrested. He was never summoned. As a responsible citizen, if he had been summoned, he would have taken himself to the police. But it was just waylaid, Your Worship, and picked up like a criminal. Your Worship, it's our humble view that our colleagues have not disclosed any sufficient grounds that will require this court to deny bail. If anything, Your Worship, the presumption of innocence, Your Worship, is the key cornerstone of our criminal practice. Your Worship, we wish to reiterate our earlier prayer that you be pleased to grant the applicant bail on very favorable terms, Your Worship. Because the accused is presumed innocent until proven guilty, he has provided, in my view, Your Worship, very satisfactory duties. Your Worship, the nature of his job is such that he cannot jump bail. His antecedents, Your Worship, are such that he has never jumped bail before. We have presented court evidence that he has medical conditions. My colleague here is just going to substantiate a bit. And Your Worship, I wish to draw the attention of this court. Judicial attention to people who have applied for bail in this court, denied and they died in prison. The likes, Your Worship, of the late Bob Kasango, our colleague,
Objection.
who had a similar heart.
Objection, Your Worship. Worship, we don't remember talking about anything but my submission to counsel is
Let my colleague sum up with the issue of health, but my humble prayer, Your Worship, is that to be pleased to grant bail to the applicant on very favorable terms.
Your Worship, it's unfortunate that my colleague has left me at a point of death, but I will pull it off from there. Your Worship, when I was in second year, we were told rules of evidence, opinion evidence specifically, between unexpert evidence and ordinary evidence. Which one carries more weight? And I remember the textbook is Cross and Tapper, 8th edition. Your Worship. And
what is the spelling of the word tapper?
Cross and Tapper is D-A-P-P-E-R. Cross and Tapper evidence. That was 1995.
Which edition?
8th edition. Page 557. In that page, Your Honor, it is stated that expert evidence carries more weight than ordinary witnesses or evidence, and that the real value of the evidence in the logical inference which is drawn is given to evidence from the expert. Your Honor, that is the cardinal principle in evidence law, second year. My colleague descended into the arena and departed from the evidence of the Executive Director, Uganda Heart Institute, Senior Superintendent of Police, Dr. Muhwezi, and also a doctor from Aga Khan University, telling you the accused person is not well. He needs to remember that such evidence can only be controverted by an expert at the stake of those doctors we have mentioned. Him controverting the same is fanciful for him and mere conjecture. We pray that we don't entertain that. Your Honor, his fear on interference with the evidence, the witnesses. This court in Nicholas Opio versus Uganda, Justice James Okuwo Kajuga at page 7 stated, it is not enough to allege that the applicant is likely to interfere, that the word likely was underlined, to interfere with investigations or to reoffend. There should be justification for such an assertion. Your Honor, the submission of my senior colleague without evidence puts us into a football pitch. We are just wagering, we are betting. We on speculation, we on fanciful theories, we on assumptions which God cannot entertain. Your Honor, he looked at the accused and he ceased being an advocate and went into psychology when he stated that the accused looks very normal, very well. The accused is on drips. The medicines are here. What more should this court then believe? Your Honor, I pray that you believe evidence of doctors and not those that purports to be psychologists. But Your Honor, succinct to note, he prays for the accused to be sent to prison until 2 weeks when investigations are done. This is the punishment under the Prisons Act. And when does the punishment come? It only comes when somebody has been convicted. This is the Honorable Member of Parliament who returned the iron sheets, who paid for them. Your Honor, the evidence in here.
I believe the counsel has been sent into the evidence. I don't know whether he has instructions to change me.
At this stage, whether he returned the iron sheets or not, reserve it for another day.
Much obliged, Your Honor. When he prays for imprisonment, which is a punishment under the Prisons Act and the Judicature Sentencing Guidelines, it's a punishment therein. Your Honor, you have an innocent person here who has not been proven guilty. My only prayer is that as you see him, hold him innocent until proven guilty. That is the cornerstone of the rule of law and the presumption of innocence. Much obliged.
That is the battle of the land friends. Honorable Minister, that's the battle of the land friends.
Can I have that diary? Give me that diary. Can I get those documents? Before I read this very short ruling, I want to remind all of us that when we entered court here, we had just this piece of paper. All these documents, I have a record of 64 pages. I've taken them from here. All these documents have just come from that site. And I'm expected to make a ruling whether to grant or not to grant bail. There are a lot of submissions that have come from defense which you cannot take for granted. A right to health. Of course, we have to try a person when he's healthy. You can't take it lightly. You can't also ignore the fears of the prosecution, but to make sure that you come up with a reasoned decision, you must study. You must study. Now, even if you were me, can you in a second study these documents and come up with a decision that is reasonable, understood, and remember, this decision is not for my consumption. It is for the consumption of the public like you, very respected members of the public. So for that reason, this is my short ruling. I write a comprehensive ruling on the date I'm about to inform you, but this is for purposes of now. I have carefully listened to the submission of both counsel for the applicant and the state's response and the rejoinder too of counsel for the accused person. The right to have accused person granted bail is based on the discretion of a judicial officer, handling the matter. I am mindful of the fact that justice delayed is justice denied, and justice hurried is also justice buried. The applicant tendered in several documents that court cannot analyze now to balance the interest of both parties and also to ensure that the decision to grant or not to grant bail is judiciously arrived at. Court would require to have an ample time to study the documents and authorities cited by the parties. For this reason, the ruling on this bail application is reserved for 20th April 2023 at 12 noon, and in the meantime, the accused person is remanded to prison and shall be returned to this court on 20th, which is a Thursday of this week. Today is Monday. On Thursday at midday, you will be returned for a ruling. I want to advise prison. Is there a prison here? Yes? Okay, I want to advise the security personnel present that the allegation of health is something that should not be taken lightly. So for the time, the accused person, the honorable member of parliament and minister will be in custody of prison. Please notify prison that they need to take note of his health status, much as for us as court, we are yet to study about this. He should be given ample time to take his medication, or the doctors should attend to him and attend to his health conditions as and when he returns back, and when we expect from a decision whether to grant or not to grant bail. Otherwise, I want to thank you for being a very peaceful community. I hope when you come on Thursday, still you will be as disciplined as you have been. Credit or distinction should always be given where it is due. I want to commend you for that. Court has adjourned for now until then when we shall meet.
The number is CO 0055 2023. 35, okay.
But in the other thing is 23.
For all of them? Yes. Until Thursday?
Yes.
Katutetegamye mu empeereza eno tupe ku ne bye tukutuusaako.